How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now, and I really do appreciate you taking your time tuning into my video. Before I get into the main part of the video, I want to give an update of what's going on with the mass shooting in Maine. Last night I posted 3 short videos about the situation in Maine, and I just got through watching the police briefing, and here's some of the updates. Last night it was reported there was shootings in 3 different places in Lewiston, at a bowling recreation center, a bar and grill, and a Walmart distribution center. They've now changed it. The shootings happened at the 2 other locations. It was also reported last night that there were 22 killed and between 50 and 60 injured. The updated number is 18 killed and 13 injured. And last night they said the person of interest was Robert Card, who was 40 years old. He's no longer a person of interest. So far he's been charged with 8 counts of murder. But he's still on the run. They haven't found him yet. And the reason he's only been charged with 8 counts of murder is because the other 10 people haven't been identified yet. Once they've been identified and their family members have been notified, then the charges of murder will go up. They said 7 people were killed at the bowling alley and 8 people at the bar and grill, which makes a total of 15. And the other 3 that were killed were people who were transferred to the local hospitals and pronounced deceased there, for a total of 18. If you haven't heard, this is what they know about Robert Card. He has a military background and was in the Army Reserve. He's a licensed firearm instructor. He has mental health issues, including hearing voices in his head. He previously threatened to shoot up a military base, and this summer he spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility before he was released. After finding out all of that, one of the biggest questions is, why was he still allowed to keep his firearms? I know a lot of you that watch my channel, including myself, are not big fans of red flag laws. And when I say we're not big fans of red flag laws, it's not that we think that people like Robert Card should still keep their firearms. It's how they go about doing it. And a lot of times it's done without due process, and it's unconstitutional. If somebody like Robert Card has all of these red flags, including mental health issues and others, he shouldn't have firearms, but he should have to go through a due process. And that's brought before a judge. And they present their case against him, why they think he shouldn't have firearms and they should be taken away from him. And he should be able to defend himself. And then if they choose to take his firearms away from him, go ahead and do it. But also once they do so, and if he gets help and gets well, he should be able to petition to get his firearms returned to him. So now everybody wants to know, does Maine have a red flag law? And they don't. They have something called a yellow flag law. Unlike red flag laws that exist in 21 states and Washington, D.C., Maine requires a medical opinion in addition to a court order based on sworn testimony from a police officer, family member, or others concerned that someone possesses an immediate threat and should not have access to firearms. So then the other question is, all the things that I mentioned, that Robert Card had mental health issues, which that in itself is not a reason to take somebody's firearms away from them, but that he was hearing voices in his head and that he threatened to shoot up a military base. And then as recent as this summer, spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility. Wouldn't you think his doctor would have petitioned the court to get his firearms taken away from him? And of course the military knew that he was having these problems, and they had to have known that he was in a mental health facility for 2 weeks in the summer. So why didn't they do something about it? Why didn't everybody get together, his family, the military, the police, go before a judge and get this guy's firearms taken away from him? And if they did, this mass shooting most likely wouldn't have happened. Most likely the firearm he used, he already had. But even if they did take his firearms away from him, if they didn't enter him into the NICS system, saying that he's not allowed to buy firearms, and if he went to go purchase a firearm, he would have been denied. The systems are in place to put a stop to a lot of this, but the systems are broken. And until fixed, this is going to continue to happen. And I'm surprised, since this happened last night, I haven't seen yet people from the almighty left calling for more gun control and to ban assault weapons and weapons of war. It's not the firearm's fault. It's the person with bad intentions, some with hatred in their heart and in their mind, but some are just mentally ill. Let's get people like this entered in the system so they can't purchase firearms. And if they are a threat to themselves or the public, put them through the due process that they deserve. And like I said, don't blame it on the firearm or the firearm manufacturers or the gun shop that sold it to them legally. The first person to blame is the person who did the shooting. And the others that are complicit in this are the people who didn't get this guy the help he actually needed. And if he is a threat to himself or society, get those firearms out of his hands. And then later on, be able to petition the court to get his firearms back if he's no longer a threat to himself or society. Let me know what you guys think about red flag laws and what you think about Maine's yellow flag law. And as always, I appreciate everybody's support with the channel. You guys are always crushing it by liking, sharing, and subscribing and hitting those post notifications. And I invite you back to see my next video.